morning. Juvenile crime has been a topic of great community concern for quite some time. Despite using every prosecutorial resource available, from pretrial diversion to commitment, we can't prosecute our way out of this problem. And if we don't intervene in children's lives, they'll become future criminal defendants, victims, or both. Today, we're excited to announce the formation of a Girls Coordinating Council here in Macon. The Girls Council is comprised of representatives from a number of public and private agencies and organizations involved in serving the needs of girls in our community. This council will endeavor to collaborate with community partners and stakeholders to reform and strengthen the local system of care for girls in need. It's modeled on a similar project launched in Broward County, Florida, by Florida-based PACE Center for Girls. PACE, in cooperation with the Macon-Bibb County School Justice Partnership, was awarded a federal grant from the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention to work with Macon girls through the Girls Council. PACE is a pioneer in recognizing that girls experience trauma differently from boys and need different approaches to restore their well-being. Their proven model uses a holistic program to address girls' academic needs, health, and emotional well-being. Over the past 35 years, PACE has kept more than 40,000 girls from having further involvement in the juvenile justice system. That's why I've been a strong advocate for PACE expanding for the first time outside Florida and bringing services to Macon girls. Members of the Girls Council, including representatives from my office, will meet for the group's first meeting later today. Now, I'd like to recognize PACE's Vice President of Strategic Planning and Policy, Neil Skeen, PACE's Regional Executive Director for North Florida, Lori Rogers, and Renee McQueen, PACE's Senior Director for Social Services and Counseling. Neil, do any of you have any comments you'd like to share?
Yeah. Good morning. It's not enough to be tough on crime and punish people after they've done something wrong. What makes communities safer is to be tough on the root causes of crime. Persistent toxic stress, such as abuse or neglect or homelessness, can reshape young people's reactions to the experiences that they come across, so that they're not driven by reason and judgment, but by emotions like frustration and anger. They engage in risky and often self-destructive behavior, and our communities are more dangerous as a result. David Cooke has been a champion for going beyond being tough on crime and being tough on the causes of crime. He was one of the first advocates for bringing PACE to Macon, and we're just delighted that we're part of this today and part of the formation of the School Justice, of the Girls Coordinating Council in conjunction with the School Justice Partnership. As David said, this is modeled on something we created in Broward County a couple of years ago. The Federal Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention wanted to replicate that program in other Florida cities, and we told them we wanted to include Macon as well. What sold them on Macon was the School Justice Partnership, which showed them that Macon is moving in the right direction on this issue. The money will support a small program that we call PACE Reach, which places counselors in schools and in other community programs. So instead of focusing on what's bad about girls, we focus on their strengths, their abilities, the good things about them that people in their lives may have ignored. Our slogan is, find the great in every girl. That's what we hope to do with the Girls Coordinating Council, and we're so happy that our first program outside of Florida is in my hometown, Macon, Georgia. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. I'd also like to recognize Mary Alice Morgan from Mercer University, who's also here. She's serving as a member of the Girls Council. Mary Alice, would you like to say a few words?
studies of girls who run into the criminal justice system show that those girls actually have the same ambitions and the same hopes and dreams for their lives that other children and youth do. They want stable relationships, they want families, they want good jobs, they want to go to college, but oftentimes there are barriers in their lives that lead to a lot of frustration and undermining of those dreams. And one of the things that PACE does so successfully and has such a proven record of is taking those young women and helping them to turn their lives around, to realize those dreams. At Mercer, we already have several outreach programs that work directly with young women, not only in academic recovery, but also healthy relationships. And so we see being able to be a part of the Girls Council as a real advantage, and we are grateful for the opportunity to partner.
Thank you, Mary Alice. I'd also like to recognize Bibb County SOAR Academy's Assistant Principal, Tanya Butts. She's here representing the SOAR's principal, Dr. Julia Danley, who is serving on the council. Often when I'm out and about in the community, people ask me what they can do to help our youth. This is an opportunity to make a difference. Anyone who wants to volunteer to serve on the Girls Council can call Reach Specialist Kamitra Stanley at 478-444-5961. That's 478-444-5961. The girls we'll reach today are the mothers, aunts, and grandmothers of the future. By intervening in their lives and giving them the help they need to succeed, we're helping shape the community that we all hope to enjoy for decades to come. Does anyone have any questions?
So this initiative, did it start in Broward County at first, or where exactly did it?
Sure. So the PACE Center for Girls has existed in Florida for decades, and they have a proven track record of success. By every measure, the girls who go through the PACE Center for Girls come out successful. They graduate high school, they get good jobs, they go on to college, they don't have any more involvement with the criminal justice system. There's no guesswork involved when a girl enters PACE Center for Girls, whether or not things are going to work out, okay? And so several years ago, George McCandless brought the idea of bringing PACE to me and said, we think this fits in with your philosophy and what you'd like to do and intervene with young girls. And so that there began the conversation. And so they've looked to expand outside of Florida, and because of us reaching out to them, they said, well, maybe the first state should be Georgia, and specifically Macon. So this council is patterned on a council that happened in Florida as a part of PACE Center for Girls. And so we are beginning to offer PACE services, but I can tell you, I'm thrilled to have them, but I see this as the beginning, not the end. I see this as the beginning of something we want to build and hopefully one day get a actual day center here.
And can you share with us some of the successes that the PACE Center has had in Florida, and some of the successes that you guys want to see here in Macon?
Neil, I'll let you answer that, because I know from visiting, but Neil knows from experience.
Let me give you what I think is the best example. About 10 or 12 years ago, Florida arrested 40,000 girls. In fiscal 2018, I believe it was, they arrested 20,000, half that number. And yet crime in Florida has gone down. Part of that is because of prevention programs as part of state policy in Florida to keep young people out of the criminal justice system and to provide them the kinds of counseling services and support services, and to really wrap around them the support that they often don't get at home. Caring adults who are fully engaged in their lives and can help them through. And that's been sort of the PACE secret sauce. There are a lot of people who are trained in therapeutic, evidence-based programs to help girls, but we're able to devote a great deal more time to them and energy and a kind of a PACE method.
Is this going to be a rehabilitation method as well, opposite of prevention? Like, is it going to help girls who are already in the criminal justice system? Are you going to go into justice centers, anything like that?
I think part of the answer is that we want the Girls Coordinating Council to help us define where the greatest need is. We're not coming in here saying, this is our way, Macon, do it this way. We're trying to build on what Macon is already doing and the priorities that this community sets, and to say, what do girls need? The Girls Coordinating Council in Florida, in Broward County, thought that working with girls in detention was a priority and keeping them from the failure to appear in court and other things that were a problem. So using data, sharing data from all of the agencies involved, and responding to what the critical needs are with our counselors and with our help, but with all the services that are already existing in Macon, and deal with that. Yes, helping girls transition out of detention or out of the juvenile justice system is an important part. Helping girls who have been trafficking victims, which is an enormous trauma and involvement with a very sinister system, we can help with that. We have experience with that. Girls who are pregnant as teenagers and are going to be mothers, we can help them prepare for a life of motherhood as premature as it is, and help them be good mothers to their children and set their children off on a good path. So we really try to go where the girls are and be there and solve the problems that they have and meet them where they are.
I'd just like to add that one of the successful things I saw about PACE is they not only meet the girls where they are, but they meet the community where the community is. That's why PACE is successful in large urban areas in Florida like Miami or Tampa, but they're also successful in northern Florida in communities that are more like Georgia or Alabama. So they're successful in both large cities and rural areas and everywhere in between. So again, part of the reason I'm so thrilled to have them here is there's no mystery about whether or not PACE will succeed. PACE succeeds everywhere it goes, and I wanted our community to be a part of that success.
And when will PACE be launching off in Macon, and will there be any other organizations to tag along with PACE to help out?
So as Neil and I said, they are becoming part of the School Justice Partnership and have partnered with us in the federal grant to offer the services that they are already offering in Broward County, Florida, right? And I believe they're already offering services now to some girls. So they're already offering some of what they have to girls right now. But the formation of this Girls Council will help us target and marshal those resources to where they're needed most and tailor them to our community.
So are you asking mainly for volunteers and people to kind of get on board?
What I'm saying is we have this Girls Council. We know it's going to be successful, but we want to hear everyone's voice in this community. And if someone wants to help, here is your opportunity.
One of the other things that will happen, one of the things we want is the girls' voices, and we have part of the work we will do as part of the Girls Council is a very disciplined and organized way of interviewing girls and getting their experiences involved in child welfare, in the juvenile justice system, and in other services in Macon, and try to understand where their needs are and where the obstacles are that may be keeping them from really realizing the pursuit of happiness, because that's really what we want for every girl.
Are there any other questions? All right, thank you, folks.
Thank you.